Good evening. Here we are on the night of the grand final, which, let's be honest, unless you're a Richmond supporter, it was a bit of a disappointment. You know, the margin was ginormous. Unfortunately, GWS were not up to the task. And for those of you who don't follow AFL, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about. But I thought it was too good an opportunity not to talk about sport as being part of a connection we make with others in the community. If you're not a sporting person, that's okay. You actually, you know what? You don't even have to watch this because you'll probably have no idea. Or you might disagree. Or you might want to watch it and change your mind. Who knows? This isn't going to be a full-on essay about, how much money the government spends on sport or the place of sport in society. This is just a little bit of a look at sport and its role in connecting with others in the community. Because whether you're a sporty person or not, you cannot deny that it is one of the ways we do connect with others. And there's two main ways. One is playing a sport yourself, and the other is being a spectator. There are quite different dynamics involved in both. So personally, I've never been a big team sports player because I'm pretty uncoordinated and not very fit and was always the last picked for teams. So being part of a team didn't really hold a great connection for me. But, you've only got to look at teams who play well, playing together, and you sense that energy. You sense that strength they get from being there with each other. There's a saying that says, a champion team will beat a team of champions. The power is in the unity of the team and the working together and the connection of the team rather than just the individuals. So we use sport as an analogy for a lot that goes on in life. And I think because it's such a visible way of seeing how connection can work and what a difference it makes in a team. You will see players supporting each other on a field. And I'll use AFL as an example. But when you're watching a game and you see players not backing each other up, not running for each other, not putting in the hard tackles and efforts and what we call the 1%ers, you can tell that there's something not really right with that team. The connections and the caring for each other, the valuing of each other that we've talked about, it's not there. And when it is there, the difference is ginormous. So being involved in a team that has a really good team ethic is undoubtedly transforming for some people. So that's that in terms of playing on a team. And then, of course, the other one is spectating and what sort of role that plays in being part of a community. So I mightn't have played on a lot of teams, but I've spectated a lot of kids sport and a lot of AFL and other sports. So we've got two different categories there. Junior sport, which is a bit of a cauldron of emotions, and professional sport. But tonight I'll just tell you one positive thing about connections in junior sport. So for a few years, one of my children played at a particular club, and what was wonderful was that each game day there'd be a group of mums who may have seen each other at training or may not have seen each other for about a week, and we'd get there and you'd have your spot and you'd catch up. I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. I don't often do that on a live. I'm a very loud sneezer. Sorry. So, yes. So we'd get there each game day and you'd learn the names of the other kids on the team. you'd barrack for the other kids on the team and cheer them on and cheer the team on. And we were pretty good sports as mums, so, and cheer whatever else was going on and just be a general support. But that connection, I know that I would light up when I knew that was happening and that I was going to see those mums and we were going to enjoy that game together. And that provided me for quite a few years there, a few seasons, with a wonderful type of sense of connection. So that feeling of belonging, that feeling of just being accepted with no judgment because we're here for a common purpose, was quite sweet. It was very valuable. I treasured those moments, and I realised how important they were at the time as well. So that was lovely. And then the other one, which is being a spectator of a professional sport where you don't know anyone out there, but you have an allegiance to a club, using AFL as an example again. And, it can be an us versus them. And if, you're an us, those people in your tribe, in your club, that they're accepted much more than if they were in another club, which is really interesting when you think the only thing you've got in common is a team you barrack for. So, and you'll hear what I just said there, that the tribe you belong to, and you will hear the word tribe a lot online. It's all about, finding your tribe, finding where you belong. And you can see once again, that's another sporting analogy coming in. So there's definitely a connection being part of a supporter group, a club, a tribe that barracks for a particular club. Now, why is that? Where does that connection come from? It's interesting. It's probably very primal, depending on what sport you follow and you barrack for. And there's certainly a lot of energy around watching a sport. There's a lot of investment that you put into a club and a tribe. And, sometimes when that club does the wrong thing or the players do the wrong thing, as a supporter, even though you're detached, you still cop it. People will still come up to you and go, oh, that was wrong. They shouldn't have done that. And, look at your club and look at your tribe. And you find yourself defending the actions of other people who you don't know, and they don't know you from a bar of soap. But we have this connection. So it's much more distant and invisible, but it's also very real. You ride the highs and lows with the club. And, the lows can be really low. There are a lot of people who get really upset and depressed when their teams don't do well. And on the other hand, you feel excited and strong and powerful when your team comes out on top. And if we look at it logically, it can seem a little bit weird. But when you're in that moment and you're part of that, it feels like a real connection. So summing up in terms of sport and community connection, I've kind of got it on 3 levels. Being part of a team, watching someone participate, particularly, as a parent, and also watching professional sport. So I wonder what you think. Are you in any of those parts of your life at the moment, or not? Always interesting to have a discussion about where people find their points of connection, and there's certainly some of the areas where I have and haven't found points of connection in mine. Thanks for tuning in. If you've watched the football, I hope you barracked for Richmond rather than GWS, so you're on a bit of a high for your team at the moment. And I will look forward to talking to you tomorrow. And if you don't know me, I'm Kim Dunn, and I'm all about connections. Okay, bye guys.